Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
So how you know
we
that?
made love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker try to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
They always want you to, you know what these rappers, all these singers, all these big rappers y'all look up to? They always tell you what the good part about, but they never tell you what the bad part. And that's crazy, man. Yeah, they got all this money, but they dealing with emo spirits. They dealing with they self. They dealing with, man, come on, man.
The Diddy situation has resurfaced, and so has one of its most vocal critics, Katt Williams. According to him, this wasn't just about wild parties or freak-offs. He claims Diddy was involved in blackmail, manipulating people behind the scenes to gain control or force submission, particularly targeting rising stars in the industry. 5 names have reportedly come up in these allegations. But to be clear, this is all based on rumors and stories from those allegedly close to the matter. None of this TI's back to me. I'm just sharing what's already being discussed publicly. So don't shoot the messenger. Let's go through each case, step by step, no skipping, just the information already out there. First up is Osiris. Whispers have circulated that he was one of Diddy's personal favorites. Allegedly, Diddy was financially supporting his lifestyle following their Jamaica trip in 2021. Yike was seen posting shirtless pool photos of Diddy, captioned with prayer hands emojis. Later, he shared a photo of himself lying naked during a massage, writing about listening to Diddy, enjoying tropical fruit, and soaking in the island vibes. His Instagram was packed with solo villa shots, flexing like the entire trip was sponsored.
Wagwan, man.
When he deleted a photo of himself leaning in to eat fruit suggestively, it only stirred up more speculation. One comment read, "Sometimes they get turned out so bad, they forget how to hide it," and things got even more questionable. Just before the Jamaica trip, Yike claimed he was broke. He said he had sold all his luxury cars, including a Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, and multiple Cadillacs.
Yes, man, I sold my Lamborghini, I sold my Rolls Royce, I sold my Cadillacs. Yes, sir, ski. Yes, sir, ski. Fry that thing. Hey, I'm about to beat that charge. I ain't gonna lie. This thing humble yourself. I ain't gonna cap to you. Got a floss for you, bro. Nigga always got it. I ain't got a floss for you, man. If y'all gonna think what y'all want to think. If I do got it, don't got it. Y'all gonna think what y'all want to think. I love this Honda. I ain't riding no Lamborghini. I got a floss for you, nigga. That's what's wrong with you.
That's when people began asking how he even paid for the trip unless someone else covered the costs. Then it all escalated. Yik's baby mother went public, saying she left him after catching him in bed with another man. When Yike was later asked about all this on The Breakfast Club, he didn't deny anything. Instead, he blushed, pulled his hoodie over his head, and giggled through the interview like a shy kid with a crush.
Now I'm about to Google because I ain't never heard this one.
Yeah? Nobody would ever say that one.
Oh, yeah. So here goes Envy.
They said that he said he was Diddy's boy toy.
Yeah, I was in Jamaica with him.
Oh, I see it now.
See?
I was in Jamaica
Osiris
with
in Jamaica with his alleged boo.
See?
Can we talk about Diddy new boy toy? YK Osiris. Why you did this to Diddy, man? It's messed up, man.
Charlemagne and Envy pressed him, and he just kept dancing around it.
Did he though?
He said yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was with a shawty.
All right, but Diddy was there.
No, he was a whole other different.
Oh, so they just made this up?
Yeah, they made it up, yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he was in a whole other different area. Like, he was like...
Have you ever met Diddy?
Yeah.
Okay, did he ask you to party?
Yeah.
Party?
Man.
Don't he put his fantasies on you.
That moment marked the beginning of a downward spiral. Not long after, Yike Osiris went live on Instagram in what looked like a full emotional breakdown. He expressed feeling used, claimed the music industry wasn't for him, and admitted he had no real friends. He even mentioned feeling like he wanted to give up entirely. According to him, he was seeing spirits attacking him in his own home.
Like I say, you can't use Drake with me. You can't use Lil Baby because they don't with me no more. So please don't use that. You haven't seen me around Drake in a minute. Or Lil Baby. A long time. So let's get it out the door. Please don't use that no more. Like, I'm not a leecher. Like, me for a reason. But like, I want to die. Like, I want to myself. I want to like leave this earth. I don't have no friends. Y'all see who I'm with. Nobody. I'm nobody. Nobody nearest me. Nobody around me. Nobody is like near me.
Then
Later, he went on another rant, this time calling out the music industry itself. He said, rappers only show the good side, fame and money, but they never mention the darker side behind the scenes. They're dealing with emotional pain, mental struggles, and some are barely hanging on.
They always want you to, you know what these rappers, all these singers, all these big rappers y'all look up to? They always tell you what the good part about, but they never tell you what the bad part. And that's crazy, man. Yeah, they got all this money, but they're dealing with emo spirits. They're dealing with themselves. They're dealing with, man, come on, man.
He made it clear he wanted to leave the music world behind. He said he only stayed in it to support his family, but deep down, he knew this path didn't align with what he believed God wanted for him.
I want to get out this music industry because this is not for me, but I do it because I feed my family. But I don't want to be in this. This is not what God want me to do. God don't want me to do this, but I do it to feed my family. And I want to get out this. I want to get out of the music industry because yes, you go through pain. You go through this because this is what the devil wants you to go through to destroy yourself.
And since Yike began speaking out, his career has taken a sharp decline. No major features, no visible label support the industry seem to turn its back on him. But Yike isn't the only one who may have paid the price for stepping out of line. Let's look at Burna Boy. His name was also brought up in Katt's list, which caught a lot of people off guard. Burna isn't based in Hollywood, but back in 2020, Diddy executive produced his Twice as Tall album. That partnership surprised many. Diddy was suddenly a central figure in Burna's project, heavily involved in the rollout.
Now I'm gonna take y'all out to my other crib, the Creative Compounds, like a 50-minute ride, on some music, smoke, get into a vibe, relax. It's gonna be some good food. There's gonna be some good food waiting for us. There's gonna be some views we don't get to see and we don't get to call ours.
It's basically saying like my heart is gone.
I know I heard you on some ill shit, but that's like compact greatness. And we just did that right here.
Burna explained that he envisioned the album as a bridge connecting Black communities across the diaspora. He felt Diddy, with his global influence, could help bring that vision to life. Initially, it seemed like a straightforward collaboration, but after Diddy's name started surfacing in recent allegations, people began to question what Burna might have had to give up in return for that boost. Then, a photo of Diddy and Burna started circulating online mid-act, according to captions. No one could confirm if the image was real or altered, but the timing raised eyebrows. Diddy has a reputation for using his power strategically, not just offering help freely. That's what unsettled many. Burna already had international success, so giving him a push likely benefited Diddy just as much, if not more. And in this business, help often comes with hidden conditions. That's why Burna's name popping up drew so much attention. A similar situation reportedly happened with another rapper where a promising career was offered in exchange for something darker. Enter Meek Mill. His story might be the most talked about of all 5 cases. For some context, 50 Cent has openly discussed why he chose to distance himself from Diddy. He once mentioned a specific moment that made him uncomfortable, something that didn't feel right and led him to pull away.
Now, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was asking to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. And now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards, or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. Now, when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter. Like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortable.
While 50 Cent was keeping his distance, Meek Mill seemed to be doing the opposite. He was regularly seen with Diddy wearing coordinated outfits, going on shopping sprees, and showing up at events together.
We do this for our family, our sons, whatever they taught us in the streets. We grew up looking up to. I looked up like Puff, but y'all was on TV. I was so far gone. We grew up looking up to on a corner that was on a corner for 25 years.
50 Cent even took a jab at the situation, pointing out that Meek appeared to get closer to Diddy around the same time those exclusive party invites started coming in.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. This is really happening. I'm just saying to you. No, stop. Stop it, man. You set that up. Look, you set that up. He's in the same shirt.
What do you mean he's in the same shirt?
Well, obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like you go, I'm like, nah, it was odd. Like, this is some of the things that people say. Like, girls, guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think is happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on.
Wow, they found Kendrick and Wifey.
But this wasn't just about fashion statements or being seen at high-profile gatherings. It raised questions about the true nature of their relationship. According to sources close to 50, Meek wasn't just spending time with Diddy, he was deeply involved. That's where Terrence Howard's comments about the man card come back into focus. In a past interview, Terrence said that giving up your dignity for fame or opportunity leaves a lasting mark.
There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that.
Katt Williams echoed a similar idea. He said he turned down $50 million on 4 different occasions to protect his values. He even suggested that rejecting Diddy's sexual advances played a role in those decisions.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Then came a major development. Lil Rod, a former close associate of Diddy, filed a lawsuit. In it, he claimed Diddy was involved with and financially supporting a Philadelphia rapper who had dated Nicki Minaj, performed at the Super Bowl, and had a Vegas residency. That description clearly points to Meek Mill. Soon after, a leaked audio recording began making rounds online. The voices allegedly belonged to Meek, and Diddy caught mid-act. The bodyguard who reportedly recorded and released the clip claimed it happened at one of Diddy's private parties. According to him, Diddy spiked everyone's drinks so they'd be too intoxicated to understand what was happening.
Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink, so I was playing that off like I don't drink. I smoke. Like, I smoke and I had my own weed, but like everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against cheeks. I heard struggling to take. I heard being like, yeah, daddy. Like when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling. Like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all this because I was like, this Diddy.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime 2 rappers or 2 people in the industry come dressed up alike, on more than one occasion?
Looking at the timeline, the connections, and Meek's sudden silence, it all started to raise eyebrows. Meanwhile, Meek's social media shifted. He began posting messages about being a king from the trenches, talking about global influence, and accusing people of trying to silence him. But it came off more like someone managing public perception than pushing back against false claims. Then there's Orlando Brown. He's often portrayed as unstable, but his past rants about the darker side of Hollywood don't sound entirely far-fetched anymore. For years, Orlando has spoken out about disturbing things happening behind closed doors at celebrity gatherings. Katt Williams and Jaguar Wright have both said that Orlando's behavior may stem from trauma he experienced in those environments.
Jaleel, you know?
Right. So can you tell us like what stuff he used to do to you?
Just call me names. And then give me rides on the scooter. And then take me in the Ferrari and fly me away. And then gas me up and then be like, you poor.
Sources close to Orlando even believe he might be faking instability to stay safe. Jaguar Wright mentioned that Orlando could be acting crazy as a way to protect himself, and if you really listen to what he says, he often sounds more aware than people give him credit for.
Orlando's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No. I can only...
That he does is a character. Actually, the shit he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
One viewer watching Orlando's interviews commented, "I think he pretends to be crazy so he can speak freely. People assume he's joking, but he's actually telling the truth." In a more recent interview, Orlando didn't just claim Diddy did him wrong. He suggested Diddy forced him to be intimate with several rappers. He even mentioned names Busta Rhymes, Bow Wow, Usher, and Drake were all included.
How did you feel when you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill has...
I mean, to each their own, and why would they not have sex when they're gay rappers?
They.
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
Who's we?
Rick Ross know he's gay.
I didn't know. It's news to me.
Everybody, Rick Ross knows.
You think Rick Ross would sign a gay rapper?
Jaguar Wright also made a serious allegation. She claims she once saw Bryce and Meek running from Will Smith's house, shouting, following one of those types of parties.
And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming.
After the situation with Empire and the controversy involving Jussie Smollett, Fox cut ties with the show, and Bryce reportedly stopped getting callbacks. What followed were troubling signs, criminal charges, a standoff with SWAT, speculation about bipolar disorder, and interrogation footage showing him in distress. Nobody from the industry reached out, and now he's reportedly resorted to creating adult content for OnlyFans to make ends meet.
So I cleaned it up. I asked her and I said, so if I didn't clean this up, you would have to clean it up. And she said no. She started snapping at me. She'd do something at me, not do something back.
Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had assaulted her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
Team 12's Michael Doudna brings us the late-breaking details from the celebrity's high-profile arrest right here in the Valley.
Word going around now is that Bryce is preparing to file a $50 million lawsuit against both Diddy and Will Smith. If that's true, it could break the silence for good. As more lawsuits come forward and more individuals speak out, things continue to unfold. Joseph Manzero, one of the plaintiffs in a civil case against Diddy, alleged he was brought to one of Diddy's so-called freak-offs through a secret passageway tied to Gloria Estefan's estate. He said Jay-Z, Beyonce, and LeBron James were all present. He also claimed he was forced to wear a bizarre costume and was publicly humiliated. These aren't online conspiracy theories, they're allegations filed in court documents. Diddy's legal team tried to delay proceedings, but the judge has. already denied the request. Now, people are starting to ask, who else was involved? Who's staying silent because similar material might be held over them? One commenter said, Katt Williams, Pimp C, Terrence Howard, 50 Cent, they all said no to Puffy, and they all got blackballed. Nobody believed them until now. Another added, that's why Diddy's case is dragging on. They're all trying to manage the fallout and use the private information to control others who were involved. So where do you stand? Is Katt Williams speaking the truth or just stirring the pot? Let us know in the comments. And if you're here for honest breakdowns and raw revelations, don't just scroll, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. The next deep dive is coming up.